Have you ever looked up at the night sky and felt something too strange to explain? Not just wonder, but a quiet, unsettling sense that you're not merely looking at the universe. You are somehow the universe looking back at itself. Most people feel this once, maybe twice in a lifetime, and then forget it fast. They go back to routines, to bills, to the glow of a phone screen. But what if that instant wasn't an accident of a tired mind? What if it was the single most real thing you've ever felt, and everything else was the illusion? Today you're going to understand why that moment exists. Not as poetry, not as a nice thought to post online, but as something psychologically real, documented, and explainable. And once you understand it, you won't be able to unsee it. You'll start noticing it in ordinary moments, in music, in grief, in falling in love, in silence. This isn't about escaping your life. It's about finally seeing what your life has been pointing toward the entire time. Quietly, patiently, waiting for you to look. You live trying to control your life as if it were something separate from everything else that exists. You work, you push, you plan 5 steps ahead, and still there's an emptiness with no name attached to it. A sense of being disconnected from something larger than your calendar. Carl Jung said it plainly. Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakes. That tiredness you carry every single day isn't a lack of discipline or productivity. It's your own depth, knocking, asking to finally be recognized instead of managed. Have you ever stopped, really stopped, to ask why you feel strange even on the days when everything is objectively fine? The job is fine. The relationship is fine. The bank account is fine. And still, something in you feels like it's waiting in a hallway for a door that never opens. That question matters more than it seems, because it's not a mood. It's a signal. And signals like that don't go away just because you get better at ignoring them. Jung spent his life studying something modern science still hesitates to fully admit. That there's a layer of the mind that isn't only yours. He called it the collective unconscious. A shared reservoir of images, symbols, and patterns running underneath every individual psyche. Showing up in myths from cultures that never once made contact with each other. The snake, the shadow, the wise old figure, the flood, the descent into darkness before the light. These aren't random. They repeat because something ancient in you recognizes them. How many times have you felt a chill in front of an old story, a myth, a piece of art, as if you already knew it somewhere deeper than memory? That's not coincidence. Jung would call that recognition. Your own psyche brushing up against something older than your personal history. He warned about what happens when this gets ignored. What is not made conscious emerges later as fate. Anxiety with no clear cause. The same mistake, dressed differently, repeating itself. A quiet sense that you're playing a role that was written for you, not by you. There's an entire system built, not maliciously, but efficiently, to keep you turned away from all of this. It isn't a shadowy conspiracy in a back room somewhere. It's simpler and far more effective than that. It's the culture of constant distraction, of success measured only in numbers, of identity reduced to a resume, a body, a highlight reel. Jung had a name for the mask you wear so well you forget it's a mask at all, the persona. And somewhere along the way, you were taught that persona was the whole of you. You learned early, probably before you could even question it, that being productive mattered more than being whole. Without ever deciding to, you traded depth for performance. You settled for living on the surface because the surface was safer, more approved of, easier to explain at dinner tables and job interviews. Nobody ever sat you down and asked what your dreams meant, or what your loneliness was trying to tell you. But here's the shift. The moment you stop reacting automatically to the rhythm you were handed, the entire game changes. This is not a call to abandon your practical life, your responsibilities, your job, your relationships. It's a call to stop living only inside them, as if they were the whole of existence. The idea that the universe experiences life through you isn't vague mysticism dressed up in scientific language. It's what Jung called individuation, the lifelong process of becoming who you actually are, by integrating the conscious and the unconscious, the light and the shadow, the small personal self and the vast self that holds it. You can start today, And it doesn't require a retreat in the mountains. Write down your dreams for 1 week without rushing to interpret them, just noticing which images and symbols keep returning on their own. Sit in complete silence for 10 minutes with no phone nearby, simply observing whatever rises to the surface uninvited. Before a big decision, ask yourself honestly, is this coming from my fear or from myself? And start paying attention to synchronicities, those meaningful coincidences Jung documented carefully, moments where the outer world seems to mirror your inner one with uncanny precision. If you're already walking this path, you'll find real depth in Jung's own writing, especially Man and His Symbols, where he explains these ideas in language built for ordinary people, not just analysts. But be honest with yourself about what comes next. The side effects of this journey are not comfortable. You'll feel stranger before you feel more whole. You'll start questioning relationships, habits, and beliefs that once felt completely obvious and safe. And you will meet resistance, not from other people first, but from yourself. The part of you that built an entire identity around the mask will fight to keep wearing it. That resistance isn't a sign you're doing something wrong. It's a sign you're finally doing something real, something that matters enough to be defended by the very structure it's threatening to unseat. Because what's born after that rupture isn't a better version of who you were. It's a truer one that existed underneath the performance the entire time. First comes the silence, uncomfortable and unfamiliar. Then comes the discomfort of recognizing just how much of your life was lived from the outside in, shaped by approval instead of truth. Then, slowly, comes clarity. And finally, there is peace. Not the peace of having no problems left, but the peace of being fully present with exactly who you are. You stop being a reactor and start being a creator. Not because your circumstances changed overnight, but because you stopped living with your back turned to your own depth. And yes, you will lose some things along the way. Certain relationships, certain comfortable illusions, certain versions of yourself that no longer fit. But you will find something far more valuable underneath all of it. Yourself, whole, awake, and finally facing forward. Tell me honestly in the comments, have you ever felt that strange, undeniable moment of connection to something greater than yourself? And if you have, even once, write this below so it becomes real. I am the universe experiencing itself. Keep watching the next video. It matters. Much more than you think it does right now.